The Hamilton Tiger Cats are 3.5-point home underdogs to the Saskatchewan Roughriders on Saturday night, where they'll look to get into the win column after an embarrassing showing on the road last week in Cowtown. Levi Mitchell needed 50 pass attempts to reach 300 yards, while the defense struggled badly against the run and the pass. Meanwhile, the Riders overcame a slow start to beat the Redblacks at home. Can Saskatchewan cover the spread in Tigertown?
I think they can, and I do think that the Tiger Cats are a lot better than they showed last season. Than they showed in Week 1 last season. They were the number one offense in the CFL, and they essentially kept the same unit together, only adding in Kenny Lawler and West Division All-Star offensive lineman Liam Dobson. I don't know how, but somehow a winning formula plus two good players turned out to be a disaster. Scott Milanovich was ornery in his media availability on Tuesday. He said that everyone at practice, including himself, was irritable, and he said that was a good thing because they should feel irritated after a poor performance to start the season. I like the fire. I like the energy out of Milanovich, but I'm skeptical that they can get this team turned around this quickly against a rested Riders team. Yes, they've had some banged up injuries. AJ Ouellette, limited in practice. Roland Milligan Jr., limited in practice. But outside of the offensive line group, I really like Saskatchewan's depth on the rest of that roster. I thought Trevor Harris did a great job getting the football out quickly, making life easier on that offensive line. And Thomas Bertrand-Hudon was a bit of a breakout player, right? In relief of AJ Ouellette, a former fourth-round draft pick out of Delaware State, getting the opportunity to tote the rock, and he scored a touchdown not only on the ground, but also in the air. So I'm definitely picking the Riders to win this one. I would honestly love it if the spread was a little tighter. Getting plus, a 3 or plus 2.5 would be better. Right now it's at the 3.5 points, so it's a little more than a field goal. I'm still going to take the Riders to cover that. Again, I'd love it if it was a little tighter, but at 3.5, I'm happy to pick the Riders to go in on a long week for them and beat this Tiger Cats team. The Tabbies have traditionally started slow, and unfortunately for Scott Milanovich, Levi Mitchell, and company, that trend has continued into 2025.
Do you hear that, Hodge? That sound? Woo, upset alert here. I think this game is prime for an upset. Yes, the Hamilton Tiger Cats looked atrocious in Week 1, but for all the reasons you laid out, this team should have been better out of the gate, and they've still got all those weapons intact. Now they're playing at home in Hamilton Stadium, which is a very tough place for opponents to go in and play. And most importantly, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who, don't hate me, Rider Nation, I am very high on your team, but currently they are held together with Scotch tape. Like, everybody is on the injured list. You're missing Keon Schaefer-Baker, you're missing Peyton Collins, you've got Roland Milligan, who's been limited in practice. You're potentially missing AJ Ouellette. Thomas Bertrand-Hudon didn't even practice today, Hodge. They've got a boatload of injuries as a team that was already banged up coming out of training camp. I just don't think that's an easy situation to be in. So if you have a resurgent Ticats on one side and a Saskatchewan team that frankly had the wheels fall off a little bit in that fourth quarter of that win against Ottawa and is struggling with depth, then I think that's a recipe for a big upset. I don't know how the spread is as wide as it is, especially with Hamilton at home. I am pounding the Ticats to pull the home upset.
To me, I'm surprised you're saying that, JC, because the Hamilton Tiger Cats were completely unable to run the ball in Calgary. Greg Bell got repeatedly stymied. Saskatchewan's got the number one run defense in the CFL dating back to last year. I think that'll be true again this year between Jameer Thurman, Micah Johnson, the guys they've got there. I think Mike Rose in the middle. I think that the running, well, hey, the Tiger Cats feasted in the run game last year, and I think that opened things up for Levi Mitchell in the passing game. And that was something that did not happen at all, did not materialize at all in Week 1. The running game got stuffed. And lo and behold, Levi Mitchell had a miserable time finding receivers downfield. Yeah, he put up 300 yards. But if you give anybody 50 pass attempts, they're inevitably going to hit that number. I also did not care for the way in which the Tiger Cats absolutely zeroed in on Kenny Lawler. Yes, he's a great receiver. Yes, he's the bright, shiny new toy in that offense, but he only caught 6 of 13 targets. And some of those targets were passes that Levi Mitchell had no right throwing. And if Kenny Lawler's consistently drawing double coverage, there's open receivers elsewhere. So that's something I'd like to see the Tiger Cats improve upon, specifically Levi Mitchell doing a better job of distributing that football. He's got a lot of good receivers in that offense, not just Kenny Lawler. He needs to use them all.